Summer is almost done. That means it is back to school season. For a kid, it is the worst thing that can happen. For a parent, it's the most wonderful time of the year. I remember when I was little, and then later on when my kids were little, the back to school shopping. You had to get your back to school supplies. Of course, when I was a kid, back in the, Jurassic period, we didn't have to buy a lot of school supplies because schools provided our supplies. They provided our crayons, they provided our pencils, our paper, and everything else. Pretty much all we needed were new school clothes and a lunchbox. Nowadays, it's a little different. You got to bring in a lot of your own, pencils and papers and so on. For a writer, now is a good time. Starting a new season, you kind of let things sit, kind of gave yourself a summer vacation. Totally understandable, did the same. So get ready to get back to school, get back to work. As we talked about in a previous video about our do or do not, there is no try. Now is the time for you to put that into practice. Now is the time for you to say, okay, this is it. This is how it's going to be done. I'm going back to school. I'm going back to work. I'm going back to my pattern. Get yourself a spot where you can be comfortable and write. If you can have a study, if you can have an office, if you can have a dedicated room, awesome. If you can't, get a place where you can be comfortable, where your mind can wander, where you can be relatively free from distractions, because you are never going to be 100% free from distractions. Because even if you shut off your cell phone, your telephone, the landline rather, if you don't have dogs, if you don't have cats or anything else, you have a mind that once you try to do one thing is going to focus on everything else. I have spent more time cleaning my house when I'm trying to write than I do when I don't have anything going on. That is when I notice all the dust in the corners, all the dirty dishes in the sink, dried out dying plants, the window smudges, the cobwebs, everything else except that blank screen right in front of me. That's okay. But your tool is get your favorite beverage, preferably non-alcoholic, because even Truman Capote, who was no stranger to controlled substances, advised against writing drunk, editing sober, or vice versa. I'll do the same. But good cup of coffee, tea, whatever. Anything you need to help you sit down and write. But since we were talking about school supplies, and we're talking about, things you need to be a writer, any writer that is out there had the benefit of a good teacher and a good education. Right now, a lot of our schools are struggling. So what I would like you to do is when you go to Staples or when you go to any office supply store, or even if your kids are getting ready to go back to school, get in touch with your teachers. Get a list of the stuff that they need. And then when you're buying stuff for your kids, buy one extra. I know in Staples, when I go there to do printing and copying or buy materials, they will always have these little boxes, $5 or something, that goes towards schools to help them buy school supplies. Find those, find anything, and get it for your kid's teacher. You don't have to come up with a whole list. Pack of pencils, pack of pens, package of paper, box of crayons, one thing. You got 30 parents in a classroom. Everybody buys a little bit of something. You can take care of your kids' class for the year, hopefully. But that is how you can kind of give back to help the next generation of writers. But in the meantime, school's in session. Get yourself an apple, make yourself a nice cup of tea, sit down. Classes begin.